Welcome to Understand the Math. In this video, we're going to learn how to solve systems of equations in two variables. We'll start by working through some examples using the substitution method, and then move on to examples using the elimination method. I've written out steps for you to follow so you'll know exactly what to do. Let's get started. We're going to begin by solving some systems of equations using the substitution method. I've written down 4 steps that we can follow, and we'll go through these steps one by one as we walk through our examples. Here's the first system that we're going to be solving. Notice that it has 2 equations and 2 unknowns. The first step to solve this type of system is to solve one of the equations for one variable in terms of the other. If we look at the 2 equations that we've been given, it's going to be easiest to solve the first equation for x because there's no constant multiplying x. Let's go ahead and write down this equation. This is x plus 2y is equal to 5. And we're going to solve this for x. So we're going to take the 2y to the right, and we're going to get x is equal to 5 minus 2y. Let's now look at our second step. We are going to substitute this expression right here into the other equation, which is our second equation up top. We're going to simplify it, and then we're going to solve that equation for y. Let's go ahead and write down the equation that I highlighted in yellow. It's 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. We're going to take the expression that I highlighted in pink and plug it in for x. This gives us 2 times 5 minus 2y plus 3y is equal to 8. Now all we have to do is solve this for y. Let's go ahead and multiply everything out on our left-hand side. We have 10 minus 4y plus 3y is equal to 8. If we combine the y's, this gives us 10 minus y is equal to 8. Let's now move the y to the right, and we'll take the 8 that's on the right and move it to the left. So we have 10 minus 8 is equal to y, and this gives us y is equal to 2. Let's highlight that in green because that is one of our answers. Let's now look at our next step. For this step, we're going to substitute that value, meaning the y is equal to 2, into the equation from step 1. That's this equation right here, and we're going to solve for x. Let's write down x is equal to 5 minus 2y. We're going to substitute in that y is equal to 2. So we have x is equal to 5 minus 2 times 2. So this is just x is equal to 5 minus 4, which gives us a value of x is equal to 1. So now we have x and y. What we need to do now is we need to check our answer. We're going to check our solution by plugging both values back into the original equations. Let's go ahead and write down our solution. We found that x was equal to 1 and y was equal to 2. The first equation was x plus 2y is equal to 5. We're going to plug x and y into this equation and see if it works. We have 1 plus 2 times 2 is equal to 5, so we get 5 is equal to 5. Let's now check our other equation. Our other equation was 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. We're going to plug in x is equal to 1, so this gives us 2 plus 3, plugging in y is equal to 2, is equal to 8. So we have 2 plus 6 is equal to 8, and we have 8 is equal to 8. This tells us that our solution was correct. So let's just go ahead and let's write down our solution. Our solution is equal to 1, 2. Let's now look at another example. You may want to pause the video and see if you can do this one on your own. I bet you can. Our first step is to solve one of the equations for one variable in terms of the other. If we look at the first equation and we were to solve it for x or y, notice that we would get fractions. Let's now look at the second equation. If we solve this equation for x, we would get a fraction because we would have a 12 divided by 8. But if we solve that equation for y, we would not get a fraction. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to solve that equation for y. So I'm going to write down 8x plus 4y is equal to 12. And let's isolate the 4y on the left. So we have 4y is equal to 12 minus 8x. Now we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 4, and we get y is equal to 3 minus 2x. Let's go ahead and let's highlight that one. Our second step is to take this expression that I highlighted in pink and plug it into the equation that we didn't use, which was this equation. So let's go ahead and let's write that equation down. 4x minus 3y is equal to 11. And we're going to substitute in for y. So we have 4x minus 3, and then y is now 3 minus 2x is equal to 11. Now all we have to do is simplify. Let's multiply everything out on the left. We have 4x minus 9, and then we have a minus 3 times a minus 2, so that gives us a plus 6x is equal to 11. On the left, we have 10x, and then let's bring the 9 to the right, so we have 11 plus 9. So this gives us 10x is equal to 20. Dividing both sides by 10, we get x is equal to 2. So that's one variable already solved for. Our third step is to take this value, x is equal to 2, and substitute it back in to our equation for y from step 1. Let's go ahead and let's write down what y is. Y is equal to 3 minus 2x. Now we're going to plug in x is equal to 2, so we have y is equal to 3 minus 2 times 2. And this is just 3 minus 4, so we have y is equal to minus 1. Hopefully you're now starting to get the hang of this. Our last step is just a check to make sure that this solution works. We're going to take both x and y and plug it into both of our equations. Our first equation was 4x minus 3y is equal to 11. So we're going to plug in x is equal to 2. So this is 4 times 2. And then we have a minus 3. And then we'll plug in y is minus 1. And on the right-hand side, we have 11. On the left, we then have 8 plus 3. So we have 11 is equal to 11. And that solution works for that equation. Now let's check our second equation. That equation is 8x plus 4y is equal to 12. We're going to let x equal 2. So we have 8 times 2 plus 4 times negative 1 is equal to 12. This gives us 16 minus 4 is equal to 12. So we end up with 12 is equal to 12, which is great. That means our solution works. So let's go ahead and let's write down that our solution is equal to 2, minus 1. We're now going to work through two examples where we solve a system of equations using elimination. Just as I did with substitution, I've written down steps that we can follow, and we'll go through these one by one as we work through our examples. Let's solve our first system. Our first step is to write both equations in standard form. When you write an equation in standard form, you put the x and the y on the left, and you put any constant on the right. So our equations written in standard form are x plus 2y is equal to 5, and then 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. You might notice that this is the same system that we solved using substitution. I did that on purpose so that you can see how both methods are used to solve the same system of equations. Our second step is to multiply one or both equations by a constant, if necessary, so that the coefficients of one variable are the same. Let's look up here at both of our equations. We have to choose one of the equations to multiply by a constant so that the coefficients of one variable are the same. I think it's going to be easiest if we take our first equation and multiply it by 2. This gives us 2x plus 4y is equal to 10, and then we're just going to copy down the second equation. 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. Now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract these two equations and eliminate our x variable, and then we can solve for our y variable. We have 2x plus 4y is equal to 10, and then our second equation is just 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. Now we're going to subtract these two. 2x minus 2x is 0, and then 4y minus 3y is just y, and then 10 minus 8 is 2. So we found that y was equal to 2. So we've solved for one variable. Step 4 is that we're going to substitute this value, y is equal to 2, that we just found, into either of the equations and then solve for the other variable. I'm going to write down our first equation, x plus 2y is equal to 5. I chose that one because there's no coefficient in front of the x, and it'll be really easy to solve for x. In our last step, we found that y was equal to 2, and we're going to take that and plug it in for y. This gives us x plus 2 times 2 is equal to 5. So we have x plus 4 is equal to 5. If we subtract 4 from both sides, we get that x is equal to 1. All we have to do in our last step is just check to make sure that these solutions are correct. And we're going to do it the same way that we did with substitution. We're going to plug our values for x and y into our original equations. Our first equation was x plus 2y is equal to 5. So let's plug in x is 1, and then we'll plug in y is equal to 2. So we get 5 is equal to 5. And then now let's do the same thing for the other equation. Our second equation was 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. This gives us 2 times 1 plus 3 times y, which is 2, is equal to 8. So this is 2 plus 6 is equal to 8, and we get 8 is equal to 8. This means that our solution is correct, and we can go ahead and write it down. So our solution is equal to 1, 2. Let's now work through our second example. You may want to pause the video and try this one on your own. Our first step is to write our equations in standard form. In this example, they are already in standard form, so I'm just going to write done. Our second step is to multiply one of the equations by a constant so that the coefficients of one variable are the same. When we look up at our equations, I think it's going to be easiest if we take our first equation and we multiply it by 2. That way the x's will both have 8s in front of them. This gives us 8x minus 6y is equal to 22. We're just taking this equation and multiplying it by 2. And then our second equation, we're just going to write down 8x plus 4y is equal to 12. Our third step is to just subtract these two equations and solve for one of the variables. Let's go ahead and subtract these. We have 8x minus 8x is equal to 0. And then minus 6y minus 4y gives us a minus 10y. And then 22 minus 12 is 10. Now we just have to solve for y, so we're going to divide both sides of the equation by minus 10, and we get y is equal to minus 1. Now our fourth step is to find x, so we're going to take this y and we're going to plug it back into one of our equations. It doesn't matter which one we pick. I'm just going to go ahead and pick the first one. So this is 4x minus 3y is equal to 11. We're going to plug in y is negative 1. So we have 4x minus 3 times negative 1 is 11. This gives us 4x plus 3 is 11. Now we need to get x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. We then have 4x is equal to 11 minus 3, which is 8. And then now let's divide both sides of the equation by 4. So we get x is equal to 8 divided by 4. And that's just x is equal to 2. Now our last step, I'm going to put up here on the right, is to just check to make sure our solution is right. We're going to take our first equation, 4x minus 3y is equal to 11, and we're going to substitute back in x is 2. So this is 4 times 2 minus 3, and we found that y was negative 1. So let's see what we get. We have an 8 plus 3 is 11, so we do get 11 is 11. Now let's do the same thing for our second equation. That equation was 8x plus 4y is equal to 12. X is equal to 2, so we have 8 times 2 plus 4 times y, which is negative 1, is equal to 12. This is 16 minus 4 is equal to 12. So this is 12 is equal to 12. And that's great. That means our solution is correct. So I'm going to write up here that our solution is equal to 2 minus 1. And we're done. You now know how to solve systems of equations using both the substitution method and the elimination method. With some practice, you're going to get really good at solving these types of equations.
If this video has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Keep believing in yourself and have a great rest of your day.